After a bank holiday weekend full of upsets, relegations, promotions, playoff drama, we finally got the chance to sit down and discuss the madness. Warrington Town are up, Liverpool are inching towards the Champions League places, and Blackburn gave it absolutely everything on the final day. We've got a lot to chat about, mate. It's good to be with you, Dom. How are we today, my friend?
That was brilliant, mate. That was the best intro you've ever done in your life. I'm inspired by that,
Okay.
incredible. And I'm you know what, after today, I'm buzzing to be on here and buzzing to talk to you, buzzing to be here. And we spent about half an hour just chatting beforehand. And every single time we spoke about a story, we had a few of them that neither of us had heard about before. I thought about, should have kept that for the pod. But I'm absolutely flying to be on. Obviously, top four we'll talk about today. Like you said, Liverpool as well. Blackburn today. Obviously, this is the 8th, so it's the Monday, the bank holiday. Thank you for the king, by the way. Warrington as well. Unbelievable. We'll have a JSV. But a twist in the tail, Cal, you need to think about a positive that we need to put in there. I will talk about something different at the end of it. Obviously, we'll have top 5 of something because, my God, I said top 5 was dead last week, but it's not. It's not dead. Nope, Cal, what would you like to go with first? Is it the race for the top 4?
I think it's got to be, hasn't it? It's something that I didn't think we'd speak about again on it.
Wait. Is that because Liverpool are inching towards it?
Like I say, I didn't think I'd speak about the top 4 again this season, but it just seems that way. It seems that after being so god awful for the entire season, it's obviously clicked for us. I think it needed to, just in general as a team, regardless of fighting for anything. I think we needed to get that winning spirit back and learn how to win games again. And tinkered with the system. Got this new Trent ball formula that we have now that seems to be working wonders, and it's great to watch. But yeah, we're looking back at the table after keeping our eyes covered whenever it comes on the screens, and it's not looking too bad anymore. And the results just seem to be coming with it in other games, which, yeah, I'm happy with that. Let them keep coming.
If you look at the table right now, obviously Liverpool are a point behind United and 3 points behind Liverpool, and them two do have games in hand. However, you always fear when you're ahead, don't you? That's the issue. You always look behind yourself when you're ahead. And this weekend, United lost to West Ham. Newcastle lost to Arsenal. Newcastle don't have a great run in. I don't know much about Man United, to be honest with you, but I think that the momentum that Liverpool have truly is like the momentum that City have right now. A team that really knows what they're doing and really is comfortable in terms of what they're doing. And I think that the pressure is off them, and it shows, doesn't it? Like you said, the Trent Alexander-Arnold storyline this season as well, to put himself in this position where he's become the best footballer in the Premier League in the last month or so.
Right, yeah, since April.
After a year of being ridiculed for no reason. And it showed in himself, it showed in his confidence, it showed on the pitch. And for Liverpool to change his position, get him out of the limelight, essentially, put him in this position right now, shows testament to Klopp and shows testament to how Trent is as well. I think that it's insane, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What I will say is it is insane that certain... You know what? Barstool, by the way, is the worst run Twitter account on Twitter. I hate it, absolutely hate it. Should Trent be allowed to play for England again? Like he's got a God-given right.
It's like something to do with the anthem, won't it? The national anthem.
Awful.
I think talking about Trent this season, I think what I love about what's happened to him is, you mentioned the limelight. It's took him out of the limelight defensively, but it's actually made him the focal point of our team, this new position, which is really interesting in the sense of the defensive responsibilities aren't as big as they once were. But when it comes to making the team tick, it's all about him now, which is it's mind-boggling, really, because you'd imagine having a team on your back and basically being the playmaker throughout the entire game. It's even bigger than defending for me. You've got other people that can cover and help you out when you're defending. But in terms of slotting everything through and making everything tick, he's got the club on his shoulders at the minute, and he's absolutely loving it. And like you say, it's a testament to the player. I just wonder what the ceiling is with this now, because you look at him in that position there. I'd love to know what the plans are as well, because he's obviously still coming from right back now. But you look at him in the middle of the park and in the attacking areas. Best player in the Premier League since April. Like, you can see it by the stats, and he's first for literally everything that's good since April. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next, whether he is just a midfielder next season. We play a 3-4-3 and he does track back, or we stick with that back four and then just keep drifting him in. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that so that's the only Klopp has them answers, and I think that no matter where you put him, even in a right back, he is one of the best players on the pitch, and I think that most people who have said that he isn't worth being in that England team is insane.
Yeah,
because he's not only one of the best right backs in the world, he's one of the best players as well. So
it's a different argument.
We sort of diluted the conversation here, because obviously Liverpool, your chances of being in the top four are in your hands ish, in momentum wise, I guess.
I think so. I think us winning every game, obviously keeping this run of form. When you mentioned before that it was similar to Man City, I think it's a testament to the rivalry that the two clubs have had for the past 3 or 4 years. Is being able to switch it on when it counts and to go for that final drive at the most important point of the season, and then to have that form that you can see in front of you now is it's a testament to what Klopp has had to do to face a struggle into what's happened this season. And you look at the other teams. I think I read a stat the other day. I think it might be right that Man United haven't scored a goal in 3 games or something. And you think
really?
In itself is a concerning stat.
Yeah. I'm guessing that includes like Sevilla.
I'm not sure if that
because I guess because like Sevilla lost away, and then who was it last? Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I think so. You look at how Man United have performed recently, and you think it's all right dropping points and losing games. It's also the method in which you do so. And you look at Man United's last few games, and it's not been good, and the football's not been there. In the West Ham game, West Ham really unlucky not to get a penalty, and Declan Rice having one of the best games I've ever seen him play in his career. So to see teams come and have a go at them like that gives other teams that might be fighting for something towards the end of the season proper things to go forward and have a go at Man United, and that obviously plays into our hands. So fingers crossed, Wolves and all the other teams that they've got towards the end of the season, they can have a real go and see what they can get.
Yeah, that's correct, because I was just thinking about it when you were speaking then. Sevilla, Brighton, and then the last game as well.
Yeah.
They've not scored a goal. And by the way, a 99th minute penalty to put it in the top bins like McAllister did. Even though Brighton, by the way, just lost the game as we speak, 5-1 against your local rivals. We won't talk about the bottom of the table because we can speak about that next week, as well as I'm sure, the end of season awards on top of the awards. We'll go on to the next point of view, which is, I suppose we can do if you want to.
Got to, you've got to.
Dom and Cal in the room. I got Dom and Cal in the room. Dom and Cal in the room. I got Dom and Cal in the room.
So just before this, I just went off the Rovers chat, which I am a regular on YouTube. But did win the game in the end against Millwall. It was insane. I don't even know how to describe it, because obviously we needed to win the game, and we needed Sunderland to draw or lose, West Brom to draw or lose, and obviously Millwall to lose, which, we're playing them.
You caused that, yeah.
We previously lost. No, we haven't won in the last 8 games before this. We've conceded 2 goals in the last when the 95th minute, essentially.
Yeah.
And it was it's just like when the commentary one happened, I was shocked because it happened off an arm off the goalkeeper, and then the Preston one happened a minute before the Preston one happened. I was like, yeah, let's be honest, it's gonna happen, and then it did. I was like, just give me another pint. Fuck yeah. This one was it's so confusing. We won the game. We were 3-1 down at half time. We had a minute worth of an absolute collapse where we had a moment of madness in defense, and then they just went and scored again. So we're 3-1 down at half time, and we've not won. I think we've had 2 points from losing positions this season alone.
Wow.
So we're really bad in losing positions. And then we go and win 4-3. And then this is like poetry to make the playoffs. And yet, yes, we didn't. We didn't make the playoffs. We lost on goal difference, obviously, to a Tony Mowbray, Sunderland. And I think, Cal, this is the question I've got for you right now. Obviously, we won the game and we did well. And obviously, I think we were the much better side to Millwall. They looked terrible today. They absolutely, well and truly bottled it. A Sunderland team that beat Preston. And by the way, Preston, a side who looked timid, poor, small, and quite frankly, one of the worst sides in Lancashire, I will say. Across the M65, they are, if Preston fans are ever watching, quite frankly, you had a stinker. And you're not ever going up to the Premier League. Anyway, between Middlesbrough, Luton, Millwall, and Sunderland, who would you like to go up?
Not Millwall, because
Coventry.
Do you know what? I think I would say Coventry.
Sorry.
Coventry or Luton, I think, for me. I know a lot of people would like Sunderland to go up, but I think I'd just like to see something a bit different. Obviously, Coventry have been there way back, and I think the only thing that's putting me off Luton is the amount of people who are going to be saying, this is going to be the entrance for the away fans at the ground.
Do you get it?
Cal,
have you seen it online?
The Boxing Day fixtures and that. They fine him 22 grand every game. It's mental.
I want to laugh, but I also did a video about that stuff.
But it's, I think for me, I think Coventry. I'd like to see Coventry. Yeah, after all the rigmarole they've had in recent years and all the ups and downs they've had, it'd be a nice story, wouldn't it? I wouldn't mind. Who would you? Obviously, you've played against these teams all season, and you must have a favourite out of those four.
I'm playing against. Yeah, I get what you mean. Neither are Coventry or Sunderland. Neither of them, I don't think. It's got to be between. Obviously, it's got to be between Middlesbrough and Luton. I think that watching both and being live at both teams, I think that Carrick's Middlesbrough look like a Premier League side. I think they look better than Sheffield United, to be honest with you. I think that it's just the fact that Carrick came in later in the season. Oh, obviously later in the season because he did come later in the season. Middlesbrough were in the bottom 3 or bottom 5 when Carrick was in charge. When, it was like 15 games in.
He's done a great job, hasn't he?
Unbelievable job. And they look like a team that's ready for it. And I think that, I don't mind any team right now. I'm just glad it's not Norwich. I'm glad it's not Watford. West Brom. You know, like one of them teams is just always up and down.
Yeah, it's a healthy playoff for that sense,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, Middlesbrough for me, and then Luton. It's actually the way it's going to be. It's like Middlesbrough. Actually, in fact, Luton came third, so that's not. So, yeah, that's absolutely the way I think about it. But speaking of a side that missed the playoffs to a side that made the playoffs and also won the playoffs, and potentially, Cal, that could be a part of in the running for next year as well. Warrington FC have beaten Bamber Bridge, haven't they?
Yes, they did. Warrington Town are going up to the Vanarama North. It was one of those games, really. It was you turn up, and obviously I think the occasion got to everybody in the ground, like the people pouring the pints and everything. It was a tense affair, and
where was it?
It was at Warrington Town, yeah.
Was it
at Cantilever Park? Yeah. So obviously you get there, everyone's very tense, and we actually stood in. I don't know why we did. We stood in a different corner of the ground this time. I don't know why, but we usually stand pretty close to our home stands where we get a lot more atmosphere. But we stood in a bit of a quieter zone this time. It was rammed anyway. 2,500 people there.
Wow, my God, that's more than League One.
It was.
I couldn't only get that much.
It was a cracking turnout, and as you'd imagine for a final, third time in a row, third time lucky, you get through the entire game. We have a player, Josh Amos, sent off for elbowing a player at a corner that had been giving him jip all game. You think, that's it now. When we're going to fail again, and then get to the 90th minute, and Isaac Buckley-Ricketts scuffs a ball from about 7 yards out. I'm sure he won't mind me saying there's plenty of videos of it. And the ball just bounces about 8 times in 6 yards, and straight into the bottom corner. And he came running over. I think he had family that were right in front of us where we were stood. He ran. All the boys just came and ran right towards us. We've got a video on my phone. Send it over. And 90th minute winner in a playoff final. And they had a man sent off, and then big pitch invasion at the end.
Is that him there?
That's the man. That's him. And do you know what? That's actually 3 of my 3 favourite Warrington Town players. You've got Evan Gums in the middle, and Bohan Dixon there, Bohandinho.
Okay.
Absolute worldy players. And do you know what? I'm not going to say I'm too clued up on the league that we're going into, which I'm not. I'm going to try my best over the summer.
National North.
I look at the team that we have, and I think physicality-wise, I think they can match anyone. They're one of the most physical football teams I've ever seen, even at any level. And they play some football, serious football, and they've got speed. It all depends on how big that jump is level-wise between the Northern Premier and the Vanarama North. But, if you look at the team in a physical way and how they play football, they know what they're doing, and I think they're capable. I'd like to see what we can do next season. And I think I'm going to have to be getting a season ticket next season. Been looking into it. I think I'm going to have to do it. Just make sure I'm there, because there's been times this season. I think I went to about 8 or 9 games this season. I want to be, going every day.
Fan.
Yeah. They've caught my hearts after that this season. I remember on the first one of the opening days that we went to, and we got beat 1-0, and I was like, I absolutely loved that. We got beat and well beat as well, but. It was just so much fun. I remember saying to you when it all came about, wanting to do something like this, and I'm so glad I did. And it's been such a good season.
You did.
And,
I remember. Yeah, you said that I've never been to like a game where it's non-league or something like that.
I know I'd been to like Prescott Cables and stuff like that, but as in non-league, but like a semi-competitive level, where there's still like quite a decent fan base and stuff. And it's just a cracking day out, and I'd recommend it to anyone who's, everyone's got a local team, haven't they? I'd recommend it to absolutely anyone now in a season review of the time I've had at Cantilever Park. I'd recommend to anyone, if you've got a local club there that gets a few every week, it helps them massively as well, the people coming down and spreading the word. So, yeah, up the Yellows, and can't wait for next season.
Are they called the Yellows?
Yeah.
So, obviously we had the point this year when, was it last year when we had the segment where we're going to have like a someone reporting from the game every year. Yeah. Imagine if Warrington Town get to the stage where they're just in League 1, League 2.
Oh
We
God,
just missed the
Jesus.
boat on it. It's like, oh my God, because
Oh, that
quite
would
frankly, they're in the football. They're on Football Manager next
They're
year.
on Football Manager next year. Do you know what? That was the best thing about it. I remember the playoff final last year and Scarborough beat them. And I remember getting the new Football Manager just to every save that I did. I went down to the National League North and I'd just remove all of their money and all of their fans and like I'd take away like 3 of the star players and just sell them, like, make them free agents.
Star play.
Yeah. And just
Yeah.
make sure they just leave the game immediately. So
I was going to do
that'd
that
be
to
good
Millwall today. I was like, I'm going to beat you 75-0 on FIFA today. If you beat us, it turns out it wasn't the case. But Warrington, I think, obviously Warrington Town. Have they ever been to the National League?
No. I think I might be wrong.
Look,
I think this is the highest.
National League.
I think this is the highest they've been. I think. Might be
Right.
wrong. I'll have to double check. But
In the season where the rivals also get to your level, like
do you know what? I actually heard a rumor. This is, if there is any Rylands fans that listen to this pod, they can confirm it. I actually heard a rumor that the Rylands players were watching it all together and that they celebrated at the end. The reasons were, one, they didn't have to play us anymore, which in fairness, that the first game was a really tight game, but watching your rivals do so well and you're floundering about in the middle of the table, it's not good, is it, Dom? You know.
Cheers,
I'm sorry, mate.
Right.
No, but apparently they thought that it was good for the town, so
fuck off.
It's great. I'll give them that, and I wish them well in their travels as they head downwards towards a spiraling pit of nothingness. We've both had a go at our rivals today, mate.
I'm not gonna go to my rivals.
Preston, yeah, you did.
No, they're not rivals, mate. They're just Burnley are. Nobody else are. Let's be honest. Less than rivals, scum, mate. Anyway, so.
It's all fun.
Right, so next up is the John Shirley Vault, Cal.
Yes.
Last week we decided that this was the end of the John Shirley Vault. This is the end of that. We can say whatever we wanted. So would you like to say any words to these guys now while we've got time?
No, I was waiting for the intro, man.
Okay.
Does Southgate want his job back after the World Cup as a domino?
Ha ha ha, I told you so.
You can never ever do
As every nation seems to do good as doing with Duffer. Ha ha, you daubers. Stoner hit below to take a penalty. So watch out, Gareth. The pizzas are coming.
Pizzas are coming.
The pizzas are coming. There is the vault right there. You can say anything you like, to be honest with you. Because
They're all free now, aren't they? We
they're
can
all
say all the names.
do we free them all?
Yeah, we
We
freed.
freed them all, didn't we? But then
I think there was.
you can keep some in. However, this season, obviously, we were at a half-time stage, and quite frankly, I'm sick of being negative. Quite sick of being cynical. Carl, we decided that
Preston North End.
they hurt me today. Okay.
I'm not surprised. It didn't do you a favour. Oh well, we moved.
We won the game 4-3 by
We
being
did.
1-3. We nearly did. We basically did Istanbul with
Mills,
Wall.
the Den Istanden. No, there's
Wall.
no.
Istwall.
We'll think of one. Anyone watching, give us
Jesus
help.
Christ. Yeah, give us 5 stars and thank you for liking the video. Obviously, in the Istanbul thing, we've decided that in the John Shirley Vault as well, we decided that we're going to make it positive. We're going to make it happy. We're going to make it a thing that we love to say. We love to say about it.
Yeah.
Instead of this negative stuff, like obviously, like Ronaldo, that mess that we had. And next week we will start it. So if anybody has any suggestions, then shout it out. Cal, do you have any suggestion right now? Because I'm thinking, what do you love about football?
I love about
It's a tough
football.
one, isn't it?
It is tough because I think what draws you into football is all the things that make you so angry and upset that's what drags you in, isn't it? It's the tribalistic anger and passion that you feel as a football fan that gets you into the game. But if you sit back and look at it, there's so many things. One of my favourite things is the morning of a game, especially on the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, that morning, you wake up in the morning, you get a full English if you're with your mate, especially with the Warrington Town ones.
I was going to say the same thing as well. I was
Getting
going
the
to say
full English.
the first pint you have before pre-match.
Yeah.
Oof. The
It's
first
just
pint
that-
you have. Oof.
Yeah, wake up, showered, ready, good to go. Say goodbye. Get to a food place, get some breakfast, head over, have a pint at the local pub, and then that walk down. That walk down to the ground. I think
That feeling,
things
yeah.
like that. Yeah, just the morning. I don't know what you'd even put. Well, the sky. I don't know. But yeah,
Full English.
That'll do. That feeling, that football breakfast is top tier. I love that.
And
That would be my first suggestion, I think.
That would be the first suggestion for me as well, to be fair. The anticipation of the game, the hope and the sort of belief that you've got before a game that you have before, it's just unrivaled. You could lose 6 games in a row. Like Blackburn haven't won a game in 8.
Yeah.
And I still had that belief, and my God, the hope.
You wouldn't bother if you didn't have that, would you? You just
Exactly.
Like you'd lose the first game that you ever watched in your life and be like, "Well, that was rubbish. I don't want that again," and you just leave and just not go back. So
Literally, yeah.
They hook you in, and every time.
So what we're going to do now as well is we're going to do the random football of the week, but we won't do a random football. We'll just literally say what Charlie Skixler said last week, and we'll reload it.
Random footballer of the week.
Right, so go on, Carl.
It was Pascal Sigan, wasn't it? You didn't have to do him like that. Look who's below. I've developed this little whistle laugh. I don't like it. It's like a wheezy old man.
Yeah. Is that the worst? Is that the worst call we've had in this whole time? Yeah, it has to be. By the way, as a Tottenham fan, to pick an
maybe that's what he was doing, though. Maybe that's
to pick the worst Arsenal player.
Yeah, just to remind everyone that he did play football.
Right. Okay. Cool. Right. Anyway, we'll get past it. We'll talk about him in a meeting afterwards as well. Like, come on. He is the manager, and we will discuss about this in about 5 minutes' time. But right now, we're the half an hour mark, Cal, by the way.
Oh no, too much to talk about.
Talk about top five. So obviously, top 5 is nearly dead off last week. From the awards, top 5 is in the obituary, but it's brought its way back. And obviously, this week has been. It's the end of the season, isn't it?
Mm.
And we've got to talk. Obviously, next week is getting towards the proper end of the season. But right now, we have a grasp on this season. We know about this season, and I think that we got to understand the top 5 signings of the summer. So. What I've done is I've grasped a list for you. I'm going to do a little top 5 of this season. So obviously, no Chelsea players have made it in, surprisingly.
Although Enzo Fernandez is not bad, you can see
he also cost 120 million. So, so for Arsenal, we've had Jesus and Zinchenko. I don't know why I struggle with that name. Brentford Benmy didn't struggle with that name. Estupinian
for Brighton,
Fulham have had Paulinho, Pereira, and Willian. Liverpool have had Willian. Willian. God. Nunez. Man City have had Haaland, obviously, and Akanji. Man United have had Casemiro and Martinez and Ericsson. Newcastle have had Isaac, Pope, and at the end of it as well, I've said Gakpo because I forgot about him.
Yes, I thought I was on that one.
Yep. obviously, there's an obvious one, isn't there, for top?
Yeah, so Erling Haaland's the best signing. Obviously, they brought him in, and he's done he's done more than what you'd expect. Or did you expect? I think we do expect
35 goals
Yeah,
in 31 games.
You knew he was going to do something mental. I think.
I mean, look at. I think he even said on the channel like no Bundesliga signing has been great coming over here. So
I think he's just inevitable, isn't he?
Absolutely,
he's a robot.
Yeah, it's a weird. Yeah, I think that I said the similar things to Rory Jennings. Really, to be honest with you, you know, he's only going to score 15 goals in a calendar, you know, in a season, and the track record of Bundesliga players shows it. Look at Timo Werner. I mean, look at Kai Havertz. You know, they both had the same level of goals as Haaland, and Haaland has just been a freak.
Yeah, it's all that physicality, isn't it? You look at this league, the way to succeed with defenders like that, you've got to be as strong as them, you've got to be much faster than them, you've got to be able to battle with them in the air, and he can do all of that in excess. And it's one of those things. It was either going to go one of two ways. I think he was either going to do this, or he was going to miserably fail, and it would be very funny on everyone else's behalf. But sadly for everyone else, it hasn't worked that way, and he's been an absolute machine. So we've got to put him first.
Yeah, Carl, have you got a top four basically after that?
Yeah, after that. I think it's tough at the minute because of what's happened to them in the last few weeks. But I think if you look at those the two Arsenal signings, what they've done to that team, they've picked those players from a team that was winning the league pretty much every season. And they were surplus to requirements. They've slotted into that Arsenal team, and look what they've done. They've made them title contenders. Still, even now, obviously, it's in City's hands, but they're still right up there, and they're still winning games, beating Newcastle. So I think, for me, those two, I can't... You can make a case for the likes of Martinez steering up Manchester United's back four and Casemiro doing wonders in the midfield, hoping he's at. But for me, I think they're my 1 and 2 of the rest. Personally, because of what they've done for that Arsenal team.
Who are the other two then?
It would probably have to be the United ones, or because I think with Isak, I think he went through a spell of not playing too much. He was injured, but when he's on, Isak he is serious. Nick Pope has done wonders as well. I think probably go the two Arsenal lads, and then I'd go Casemiro, and then Nick Pope might just nick it.
Yeah, I don't to shout out Paulinho and Pereira at Fulham as well. They have been unbelievable at Fulham. Akanji has made this move to City look so smooth, so effortless.
Very true.
Eriksen, from where he came from, you know, for United to buy him for free, by the way. He's an insane signing. I wonder what he's worth now. That's what I'm thinking as well.
Truth, isn't it?
You know, like he might be, you know, because of his health, he might be worth a little bit less at his age. But what he's done for the United team, and when he left the United team, what he was worth after that, there's a lot of difference. The 5 that I've gone for, however, have been obviously Haaland. And then second place I've gone for Casemiro, because he has been a linchpin for that Man United team. If Man United would be nowhere near the top 4 if it wasn't for Casemiro. You can see when he's not in the team where they are. I put Zinchenko as the one Arsenal player. I didn't put Jesus. I think that Eddie Nketiah does similar in terms of numbers. Doesn't maybe do the same in terms of a job, but I think that Zinchenko has done more of a job for Arsenal than Zinchenko.
That role that he plays.
Put Nick Pope in the top 5 as well, because I think that Newcastle will be nowhere near where they are right now.
Definitely.
Last couple of weeks, obviously, been a little bit suspect, but he's been crucial for that back 4. In fact, you could put Botman. Was there last season? You could say Botman maybe.
Yes, Sven Botman's been brilliant, hasn't he? Great player. And I think everyone knew because he was linked with a lot of top clubs. So a lot of the top clubs had a look at him and seen what he was doing over in France. And really good player. Another one where you look at Haaland and you look at the physicality and he's just got what it takes to succeed over here. So fair play to Newcastle for buying him.
But in fifth place, I've got Estupinian for Brighton. I think that is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
For Brighton to sell 50 million to Chelsea for Cucurella and then buy Estupinian. We've obviously got a mate that's been on the channel a couple of times, Liam, that's a Brighton fan, and he must be absolutely loving the fact that every time they sign a player, it just becomes a better version.
I'm convinced they have a lab and they just put a nationality in and go, yeah, we'll have a left back. And then they wait 2 days and it spawns just as a 22-year-old man. And that's it.
Was it Cucurella? Left back, yeah. Left back. Can we just get left back?
Yeah, let's have an Argentinian with a Scottish name.
Anyone?
And then we'll have a lad.
It's like
Matoma. Yeah, we'll have him. Yeah, he sounds.
Think of a country, and it like goes through it. And it's like, okay, Paraguay, all right, okay, and then it just goes through a name, in a position,
and then they just mould him to what they want, and then that's just him. And then he comes out 2 days later, walking fine, and they put kit on him, and then sign him onto the team, and then sell him for 55 million quid. And that's
it's like the Brighton chairman is just a Willy Wonka, basically.
Yeah, sick individual. No, Paul Barber and Tony Bloom have done brilliant things, haven't they, over there?
How do you know their names as well?
Because they're superb. They run that club in the best possible way, and just love what they're doing over there. And it is quite mental that you've got teams with 10 times as much money in the bank that don't even think about doing anything like what they do when it comes to scouting and signing players like this.
Seventh in the league, and they're doing absolutely fine. But that has been the first part of it. Obviously, the next part we are looking forward to, absolutely, and it's going to be right about now.
3, 2, 1. Oh, that's the day he's done it again, that Harry Kane, that fucking dirty little... He's done it again,
No, you see, I'm talking facts here. I don't do if, buts and maybes. I do absolute ice in the fucking veins, mate! Fucking I'll fight you! Send that to your fucking friends!
Let me talk! Let me talk!
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Talk Nonsense podcast. It's me, Charlie Skeggs. Regular viewers might know that I've been doing the podcast quiz for a long time, but this is the first time that the lads have decided that this will be my own section. So not necessarily a quiz, although I can't rule out a quiz in the future. You know, I might, if I find the right mood for a quiz, there definitely will be one. But this essentially is my first section. And in the last podcast, I sort of teased this idea, and we've been having a little chat off air in our little group chat. And this first section I want to sort of do is a bit of a laugh. And I think we're going to have a little bit of a debate around a few certain players. But this first section I want to talk about is we're going to do a combined 11 of bold players, which I know I don't know where this came to me. I think I was watching a particular footballer and it was fun. But the idea is, boys and listeners, that we come to an agreement on a bold 11. There's no, the fact there's three of us means that we can probably, even if it's a split vote 2v1, we're going to come to an agreement. Now, the initial idea I had was that we all had 3 picks at each position. And that way, even if there's a player where we probably all agree on, it gives everyone a chance to maybe pull someone out of the bag that we wouldn't have expected. But I think we're going to go for a 4-3-3 formation. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a right laugh. And obviously, listeners, comment and in the comments, put any footballer you think deserves to be in this if we didn't pick one. And maybe surprise us because, we're already human and we're pretty knowledgeable. But who knows? We might miss a player or two. So, let's try that. But I'm going to start with an option for the goalkeeper. 4-3-3, I might mention that. 4-3-3 formation. So, 1 goalkeeper, right back, left back, 2 centre-backs, 3 midfield, centre striker, and 2 other strikers or forwards. That's generally it. But actually, before we start, I'm going to ask you boys, what do we think about this? Cal, what do you reckon to this section? Have you got any ideas?
I like it. Yeah. It's good. It's different. Do you know what? I found it a lot harder than I thought it would. I remember when you mentioned it for the first time, I was like, that should be easy, that. And then I found myself scrimping and scraping. I've ended up, I've actually got players with brackets at their time at a certain position and a certain level of baldness. So I'm scraping the barrel, definitely. But hopefully it'll be all right.
What do you reckon, Dom?
Yeah, it's a class idea. I think that, like Carl said, there's a few positions that are obvious where you're going to get a bald man. But there's a few where you're struggling, and it gets the cogs turning. I love it.
Well, I think where it's going to be, and I think Cal alluded to it, is I think where the fun was for me is that, like Cal said, is I guess I was kind of thinking, and maybe we will have to have strict rules, but then we are obviously going to try and bend them, is that players that I would argue are synonymous with being bald. Like, obviously, we could talk about David Beckham when he decided to shave all his hair off, but Beckham wasn't known for being bald, even though he obviously was known for his amazing hairstyles over the time. Yeah. But, like, it's the idea that when you think of this player, you go, he was bald. Or I think we were discussing in the group chat as well, like, what about someone who just spent their whole career, like, Bic razoring, their head off? And
well, yeah, I've got one of those. So,
well, that's it. If they're synonymous for having no hair, maybe that would be the. It just doesn't sound as good as bald, does it? Someone having no hair.
Yeah.
But I think that I'll start. I think I've got for goalkeeper. I've got 3 options. I suspect. In fact, I don't. I only have 2. I couldn't even think of a third one because I suspect that one of these guys is going to get the position of best bald goalkeeper in football history. It's world football, by the way, as well. So we're going not just Premier League or English football. It's world football. I'm going to put in a player. One of my first options of goalkeeper is Brad Friedel.
Ooh. Very nice. How are we going to do this? Who's going what order? What are we saying?
Carl, do you want to go next?
Yeah, we'll go one each. Go on.
Yeah, all right.
Wait, are we going for, like, we all nominating a goalkeeper?
Yeah, I think if we have 3, but then we nominate 1.
Yeah.
Like the best of the best baldy. For me, it's got to be one of my childhood heroes. Love him to pieces. It's Pepe Reina. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Strong shout.
So I've got those 2 written down in my list. I've also got Hanneman written down that I won't say. I guess the third one that I thought of was Fabian Barthez. As a bold goalkeeper. That
he was bold, yeah.
Quite frankly, he's better than those 2. He's got more medals, got more about him than he has.
Definitely not better than Pepe Reina.
Well, I'm gonna say that I'm not gonna lie. I started with Brad Friedel, but I won't pretend that I knew he wasn't going to win. I'm not gonna lie. I had the 3 we've mentioned were the 3 I had. Yeah. However, I will side with Dom. I do think Barthez was the kind of guy that I expected to win this round. But obviously,
I know why we called this podcast what we called it now, eh?
Oh my God!
Almighty.
Tell you what,
that is the maddest pair of shouts I've ever heard. Clip that at the start of the video.
I would have said Brad Friedel because he's a Blackburn legend as well. So
and a Tottenham legend as well.
I just can't believe that you're saying that Barthez is better than Reina, man.
It's just the sort of, I have to say that rather than I will say that.
Is he a more iconic bold?
Well, this is the old debate. I suppose we could get this out there early. Are we, because they're all bald, are we trying to make the best team of bald players? That's what I'm siding with that. It's got to be a super team of bald players, surely.
It's got to be Brad Friedel then.
No.
But they also have
I mentioned the best football, the best goalkeeper.
Most consecutive football appearances in the Premier League ever.
Anyone can play, mate. It's about being good at playing.
He was good at playing. He got the Golden Glove twice. So how many did Pepe Reina get?
I think he got a few, didn't he?
Yeah, well, we'll go with Pepe Reina.
I'd tell you what, I would.
Let's be honest. Pepe Reina is the best out of the 3. Let's be honest. I'll be your physique.
Yeah, he really is.
Pepe Reina is the best.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's agree.
3 Golden Gloves for Pepe Reina.
Okay then. I'll happily settle with Pepe.
No, you said it now. I want the people to be as outraged as I am. So we're locking in Barthez. Somehow.
We're not locking in Barthez. I just thought that was my.
Both voted, boys. You both voted.
I didn't vote. I nominated.
Yeah, then Charlie just went, yeah, I'm going to have to go.
I didn't.
That's what he was.
Hang on. Okay, let's get this out of the way first.
Because we had to do it a different player each time.
That's a 2-on-1. That's a 2-on-1.
I have to say that when I said Friedel, I wanted to make sure that I kind of gave you guys an opportunity to say the other guys. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Brad Friedel is personally the best. I just wanted to.
No, what's happening here? I can see it with my own two eyes. There's two people that have realised they've said something silly, and now they're backtracking because they've completely forgotten that they said the ball went back from Dom saying that Barthez was better than Reina to Charlie saying, I'm going to have to go with Dom on this one. So the decision was made. I just made an argument about it.
Okay. I tell you what.
Live with it.
That is it, right? Barthez.
We'll have to fucking live with that. Charlie, that was your fault.
That was my fault, but I genuinely thought. I guess I got caught up in this idea that Barthez was a more iconic bold one, but you know what?
Reina is the best goalkeeper out of the three, by the way.
Yes, he is. I do think that.
Well, I got that anyway.
Oh my God.
We're all right.
Right, so we'll have to have a laugh. In that case, I'm gonna go second or third now. So someone. Let's go for right back. I have to be honest. I've only got one right back option. So
Really?
I couldn't think of anyone else.
I think I'm going to nominate another probable winner here. Actually, I'm going to go with Roberto Carlos. Surely.
Right back.
Oh, sorry, Jesus Christ! I've got left back first. Got Ashley Cole.
We'll go left back.
Should we go left back first? Yeah, sorry.
Left. Okay.
I was like, what?
I've got Ashley Cole, Frank LeBouf, and Roberto Carlos as my right back.
No, just giving away the game.
Yeah, no, they're my little three.
I know, but
don't mention Marcus Hanneman before. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Relax, eh? You might make a wrong decision again. I'm going to go left back. We're going to go Roberto Carlos for me.
Is that all you want to say about him? Do you want to back his case at the minute?
He's probably the best ever, isn't he? Brilliant. So we'll go with that.
Go on, Charlie. He isn't, but yeah.
Left back. See, yeah.
There we go.
I'm not going to lie. Carlos was probably the only one I had. I'm trying to see if I had another option here.
Left back.
Yeah, I don't think there is another. I couldn't think of another option for left back. I've got a couple of.
I think he's gonna be dubious about the hairstyle. If you're gonna say, I think.
Let me Google one second.
Well, if you could share the screen, because I've looked through a lot of players today, and
no.
It looks minging when you do that. Just Google it, Charlie.
No.
Right. What do you reckon?
Right. Cal's definitely won this.
Yeah. I think so. I think Cal has won this one.
What have you got?
He's already won that one. I think Carlos was the only option, if I'm honest.
Okay, who have you got for? Who did you say?
I'm looking through now, and I realised that I've made a mistake here. Two players I've put down. You mentioned a player before, Cal. I think I was going to put a centre back, but I'm going to say Carlos is probably the only bold left back I can think of. Unless, Dom, you've got someone else. That's why I wanted the three options, because I couldn't think of anyone else. So
I thought that Ashley Cole was bold.
Yeah, right. And I think I agree. I'm inclined to agree that he's not bald, is he? But he has no hair. He has a.
Well, I was looking at if we all want to do it now while we're in our own screens. If you just type in Ashley Cole on Google, I'm pretty sure that most of them have got. However, the other one that came up, actually, I will mention. I think he's left back. Is Ashley Young?
More right back.
Is he more of a right back?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
That's fine. I had Paul Konchesky.
Great shout.
Terrible player.
It's just Ash Chow, isn't it?
It's a good shout for bald knowledge.
Bold knowledge, yeah.
You like that. But yeah, in terms of the greatest team, maybe not.
Yeah. So I think Carlos has to be there.
I think we can all agree Roberto Carlos is not only the best bald left back, I'd argue he's one of the best left backs of all time.
Yeah,
so,
pretty much.
So is it my turn for right backs now then?
Go on then.
Right backs. Jesus Christ.
Well, let me just have a look. How many 1 second. Because I've got a player right now who is potentially one of the best players that's ever graced the Premier League. At right back, and he's definitely bold. He's had 58 caps internationally. He's won the league twice. He's won the Premier. He's won the FA Cup once. That's not good. Shout about it. He was in the PFA Team of the Year, and that is Pablo Zabaleta.
Oh,
Right
what
back.
a bald he is. Love it.
It's a baldy man.
Cal?
So I've got a couple, and so this is where I had my stipulation, Charlie. It was obviously Fabinho is very bald, and he was a right back at Monaco, but he's been a midfielder ever since. So it's tough, really. So I did settle for Lilian Thuram. Right back.
See, I had Lilian Thuram as well as Zabaleta, and I'll be honest with you,
that's not good.
I also had Maicon, Danny Mills.
Stephen Carr, a right back.
Yeah, he
was
for a while. wasn't
But he should have been left. He should have been left right back in the changing room. He was bloody awful, Stephen Carr.
That's nice.
All right.
No, he
We're all
wasn't.
gunning for it tonight.
No, but I just don't. Even Stephen Carr, to be fair, at Spurs, he did have a head of hair, but he definitely went on to Newcastle and was it Birmingham and Cardiff or something. He was definitely
Birmingham.
He was very bold at Birmingham.
He was extremely bold.
I think for I had
between
both
two,
players.
isn't it?
Yeah, because I didn't have a third player, to be honest.
It's tough that, because in terms of accolades, obviously,
Thuram's won a World Cup.
yeah. But
And the
Zabaleta was
Euros.
a top player in a top Premier League team.
He played everywhere for City. Let's not forget that he joined City in a time when it was before the actual second takeover in the
company with the mainstays of that changing the guard, weren't they? And
I tell you what, then, if you were the manager, right, of a team in its pomp, and you had to choose between Zabaleta and Thuram, I think I would see, because obviously Zabaleta's more recent, so he's maybe more fresh in the mind. But Thuram was.
He was a great player when you were really young. He was
a
gripper, wasn't he? And I think Thuram's more of a sexy option, but I feel like my heart's actually saying Zabaleta. I don't know. It's weird. It's a tough one. I'll leave this to the gods. Obviously, I put Thuram, so I'll have to stick with him, but I'll be happy with whatever outcome comes.
Is it going to be down to me again? Because Dom, I'm assuming you're choosing Zabaleta.
That's exactly the player I chose.
I think I'm not going to lie, and the whole Pepe Reina Bartes thing has put me on the back foot. I'm questioning everything I'm thinking. I'm questioning all my thoughts. I think I'm going to change my mind at the last minute. I think I'm going to go for Zabaleta.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Although Thuram's the better than I'm joking.
I'm fuming.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm going to start our centre backs. I think there's quite a few centre backs. To be fair, I've certainly got a few options here, and maybe if we don't name someone else, we can always throw other names, rings in the hat.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with my centre back. One of the two being Jaap Stam.
Yeah, top of the list. Yeah. Dom, do you want to go next?
Me, yeah. I got a few here, to be honest with you. So you said Jaap Stam, that was an obvious choice. The other centre back is a difficult one for me, to be honest with you. I've not got anyone obvious. Cal, have you got one obvious?
I've got two obvious ones that was going to be my back two that I think were actually better than Jaap Stam. Might be controversial. Do you want me to say both? Get them in the mix?
I suppose we could do both positions.
I've just got funny options I can decide.
Well, I did have Martin Skirtle in there, but he's not.
I have him as well in my options.
But, my two were. It's tough because one of them wasn't bald, but then was very bald for a while again. So I'm going with Vincent Kompany and Fabio Cannavaro. That's what I'm going for. Cannavaro peak was bald, and Vincent Kompany is, one of the best Premier League centre halves.
Oh, Ballon d'Or!
Yeah, World Cup winning, Ballon d'Or winning centre half.
No, Cannavaro is a great shout.
A long while.
I'm looking at this guy here. Oh no, he's not the same. I thought. Hang on, let's have a look. What position did this guy play? He's midfield. Never mind. I still might mention him for honourable mentions in the other position, but I'll be honest with you. The options I had for centre back, I'm just trying to look at. I had Jaap Stam, Vincent Kompany. I didn't have Cannavaro, and he is a great shout.
Not always bald though. He had long hair at one
But
point.
I think that
Cannavaro and Stam, I'd say.
Cannavaro. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look.
Company hasn't got that international pedigree. So
I literally wrote down Kabul, Segan, Senderos, James.
They are all bald, aren't they? They are.
Collins.
Yeah.
See, Cannavaro, looking on Google Images, Cannavaro very much was a...
he had very long hair, and then now he's got a great head of hair now as a manager.
Yeah,
but his peak was bald.
He bicked it.
Yeah, his peak was skin, and it was really good as well. He was such a good player, wasn't he?
I'll be honest with you, I had Stam and Company. Those are my two centre-backs. Cannavaro's a great shout. So
it's just the stipulation. I feel like people might not be happy with it. I think if we were to play it safe, it'd be Stam and Company.
Hang on. Well, what about if this guy was a centre back? Am I right in thinking was Frank LeBoeuf a centre back?
I thought he was I had him down as one of my left backs. Was he not a left back, Frank LeBoeuf?
He also wasn't as good as the other two.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know what.
I'm just trying to put someone's name in the.
I had him as my fourth choice right back, left back.
Chelsea, but he played for Chelsea.
See, it says on
he was a centre back, but he's not.
It says on his Wikipedia page he was a centre back, but
I think he had played left back.
But he's bold, so we'll put him in the bold section.
Should we sort of agree on a centre back partnership of Yap Stam and Cannavaro?
Oh, you're not agreeing with my Eunice Kabul shout?
No, we're not.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I saw the worst of him at Spurs.
Well, you saw the best of it.
Fucking hell, Sunderland.
Yes, Portsmouth. Is it Portsmouth or
Christ?
Watford.
Yeah,
oh god,
a lot of great teams in the Prem there, weren't there? So I'll start with the centre mids. I will start obviously.
There's so many here, to be honest.
Gary McAllister, there is my centre midfielder for
great player,
great, amazing player.
Yeah, he was brilliant. I'm with all the
dubious
ones.
Come on, there's an obvious one, isn't there?
Well, there is obviously Zinedine Zidane.
Should we include him and then choose the next two?
Well, for the viewers who weren't in our group chat earlier, Zinedine Zidane.
Everyone.
Right. Well, yeah. What I'm saying is,
but he went bald and he played bald.
Well,
he played his best time bald.
But what is bald? Because he had hair around here.
What is bald?
Oh my god! Let me get it.
No,
I know.
Number 5 shirt with the army style font on the back. Number 5, Real Madrid, Galactico. He was bald and he was brilliant. And then obviously you look at the iconic World Cup final headbutt. No one bit of hair headbutted Marco Materazzi's
or at least thick.
Yeah.
No, listen, I do genuinely agree, but I do think that, and I think that if we allow that to be a stipulation, I think Zidane is the only choice.
Yeah.
But I did think that it did make for an interesting debate. That he was bald. He was bald. Okay, I think for the sake of being pedantic, he was bald. Yeah.
Yes, he was. And he still is, actually. Yeah, he still is.
Yeah, he is. Now, I have got quite a few midfielders in my... I mean, Dom, how many midfielders have we all got between us? Because I've got quite a few options here that I've
got about 10 written down here.
Right, well, I haven't got as many as that. So, again...
A few of them are funny as well.
Yeah. Well, again, one of these people I don't think was bald. I've looked it up, and I think he just cut his hair very, very short. But I had people like Patrick Vieira, who wasn't really bald.
But he was.
He was, but there's some of those pictures.
Prime bald in prime.
I've also got Yaya Touré. I don't think Touré was really bald, was he?
No, I couldn't allow him. But you've got Patrick Vieira's got to be there. Like, look at him in every photo of when he's done well for Arsenal.
Well, this one here, I'm finding interesting.
I'm not talking Dreamcast. I'm talking O2 here.
Okay, well, I'm talking... Another player I'm thinking of is Andreas Iniesta.
Oh.
Balding.
I've got a better player than Iniesta, potentially. Then
who the hell is that?
Seedorf.
See, I've got Seedorf.
Andy
I don't even know if he... Yeah.
This is tough because Seedorf has a lot of hair at a lot of times.
I've got Kante.
Great shout.
Schneider.
I've got Schneider.
Fabinho, maybe.
Yeah, Fab. in his prime, Fab was
Lee
superb.
Carsley.
And fucking Jesus Christ. John Joe Shelby, obviously.
Gravison.
Thomas Gravison.
Are we in terms of formation? Because I've got a player here that kind of was between midfield and attack, but he definitely was not in the centre. So I'm not sure.
Well, no, you can have him as a cam and 2 other CMs behind him. It's fine.
Well, in that case, no, because this guy definitely was not. He was definitely not central. He was definitely a winger. That's the only thing. So it's whether he's a wing midfielder or wing
we'll have to put him on the left or right wing.
Well,
so
okay,
where are we? We've got Zidane.
I think Zidane's a shoe-in.
Should Vieira really be a shoe-in? He's unbelievable.
Yes.
If we agree that he was bald for the majority of his pomp.
To be honest with you, I just wanted to say it off because it was the shout I had. I think Iniesta's better than
Vieira.
All of them?
Yeah.
He's better than Zidane?
Not better than Zidane. No.
Ooh, that's a decent shout, though, isn't it?
It is a
that's
good conversation to have, but I don't think he's better than Zidane.
I mean, we've got our 3 there.
Zidane was bad.
So I think Zidane was a bit of a staple shoe-in. I think the other one, it is. I mean, if we're allowing balding like Iniesta, I think he's pretty.
I'm saying prime Iniesta had like that big tuft of hair around the.
Yeah. I'm not allowing Iniesta.
Nah.
I'm not allowing it.
I wouldn't fight it, but I thought it definitely worked.
He's only been bald since he's gone to Japan.
Yeah, like proper. Yeah, head gone bald. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, then I think if we're ruling out Iniesta, which I'm not against, I thought he was a bit on the edge.
I say Cambiasso. I say
great.
Stephen Ireland.
Yeah. Have you seen the footage of him recently?
Yeah,
he says he's better than fucking Gerrard.
No. I see. This is the context thing. Like, if you hear what he said, it's still nonsense. But what he's saying, if he's being honest when he says it, if he's come across those players miraculously when they've all had a bad game. It's true, isn't it? If he just played against them all, they've all been rubbish and he's had a good game, then he's not going to go and say, I played against Gerrard and it was a nightmare. It's like he's going to say, I actually had a decent game against Matsu.
Yeah.
That's just what happened on the day.
And I bet he didn't have a bad game against them. He just had an okay one and they maybe were amazing.
Not their best game,
Yeah.
Do you know who's a good shout for this midfield 3? That's a proper raw one that I don't think, I don't know, because he has done ball. Thiago Alcantara, 1, and 2 is that Wayne Rooney. When he
I thought Wayne Rooney. I thought about Wayne Rooney, you know.
And shaved his head and he was a nutter and he was one of the best players in the world. That was like, if we're going off moments, that was like, that season was huge.
Well, in 3 midfield players, if we're going to go for Zidane, Rooney could be a cam.
Rooney.
But then, but you're talking about, like, that's what I'm saying, like when Beckham shaved his head.
But Rooney,
it was an era.
Rooney hair transplanted though, didn't he? So he was going bald for a long time, and then he did.
Hang on, but to be fair, Rooney and Iniesta then are in the same camp for me because Iniesta was losing his hair and didn't do what Rooney did. Rooney was losing his hair and did that, and he did bick it, but he wasn't like skinhead. He didn't skinhead his whole career. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's true. I think he would have had a better career if he did.
Maybe.
So we're not saying Gary McAllister then.
So we've got Zidane and Vieira, and we need another player. And the pool is light, isn't it?
Kante
works for me personally.
I've got a player that definitely is not central. So even though he could have been a midfield player, I think he definitely wasn't central. I don't think Seedorf is I can't really.
He's another that had a lot of hair, got rid of his hair, and now has hair again. So if he falls in that camp as well. Yeah,
I haven't got anyone else. We're gonna have a right laugh with strikers, I'll tell you that much. But
oh God, yeah.
I think I'm happy for it. I'll say I'm happy. I'm not the final answer, but I think Zidane, Vieira, Kante's a great shout. But then I didn't even have him. But
should we go Kante for the sake of it? All French.
Yeah, shall we?
I'm happy with Kante.
It is all French as well, isn't it? Fucking hell, yeah.
I'll go Lee Carsley.
I'm going N'Golo Kante to finish this.
Okay.
Right. In that case, let the fun begin because there is a list of forwards.
Right, I'll go first this time. The main striker to go with first is actually really, really tough because there's 2. But for me, and it pains me because it was my favourite player growing up that didn't play for Liverpool that he's going against. It's R9, Ronaldo.
I've got R9.
He's my striker.
Now, this is
you're gonna say it, and it's right. I know what you're gonna say.
Well, I've got a shitload of options here, and I think it can go around ever. I definitely. By the way, I don't think this guy is at all better. It's just because you said R9 that I'm going to just put this guy out there. Thierry Henry.
That's it. That was the argument. Yeah.
He's
however, we've also. I'm not suggesting again. I'm just saying.
Put him on the left. Yeah, you could.
I'm just saying these names now. Dom, I won't say it to you. Don't give an option because I've got loads here. But who've you?
Striker.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got Vialli, other than Ronaldo, Andy Johnson.
Yeah,
I'm struggling. Then I'm actually struggling with ball.
Now, of course, there's a player that comes to mind who I don't think was bald at all, but losing it was Shearer. I don't think we can allow Shearer.
No, we discussed this, didn't we?
Shearer
in his prime had basically all his head.
Shearer's partner in crime, Ian Wright.
Ian Wright was.
That hurts to say that, by the way. Wait, who fought? Oh, England?
No, for match of the day.
Oh my god.
No, of course not. I mean, his match of the day partner is Ian Wright.
I thought you were going to say Chris Sutton then. I was like, he had a lot of hair.
Ian Wright. Ian Wright was one I had.
Nobody's ever said them words and then said Ian Wright, by the way.
It's his new partner in crime.
SAS, wait. Oh. give me some relevance.
It's his televised partner in crime.
Whoa. That hurt my soul, that.
I do think that it's a painful one. I think R9 does front it, but there's so many strikers here.
Ian Wright's such a good shout.
Ian Wright was bald for the majority. Well, the majority, do you not think? I know he had a bit of hair in the early days.
No, he's a shout.
No, I'm saying it. Yeah.
I think what about
I don't actually. What position did this guy play? He just came up when I typed in ball players. The Newcastle player that kicked the advertising board. Is it Ketsbai?
Sebeski, isn't it? Sebeski?
No.
Sebeski.
Was it who was it Ketsbai?
I've got a bet. Are you on about wingers now? Because he was a winger.
I think
because we got three up front.
Are we flirting with the idea that R9's the striker and Thierry Henry's the left winger?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're going for a right winger, and there's only one right winger that we should all say right now.
Come on, Iron Robin.
It is Iron Robin. Yeah, that's all I need to say.
Great.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait. I've got Steve Stone. Have you got Steve Stone?
No.
Portsmouth.
I had an honourable mention of David Trezeguet. He was a good player, wasn't he?
Well, how about this? Because I don't know where we'd put this guy, Bobby Charlton.
That's hard. I don't know.
He had hair.
Tell you.
He didn't have hair. He didn't have hair.
He had hair here, and he made it go like that.
Did he have hair? That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
I know. Yeah.
It was just a joke that he had hair, and he still does.
Yeah, he does still have hair. So. Yeah, he does have hair. To be fair, but I mean, you can't fight Iron Robin. He was the first name on my list, believe it or not, Iron Robin. R9. Yeah.
That's a team, you know.
So are we agreeing?
Bloody goalkeeper.
Are we agreeing it's R9, Henry, and Robin? Yeah, that's a great shout.
Remind us the team, then, Charlie. Go on, get us to the team.
Let me just write these down. I think that again, though, I think we have kind of chose it quickly. I do agree, but yeah. All right, so. In goal, after a bit of last-minute debate, we do stick with the first answer. We have Fabian Barthez. I'll be honest with you, as far as bold keepers go, he definitely is in the top.
He's the best. He's the best.
He's definitely in the top three.
He's the best.
We have a back four of... This is where it gets good. So a back four of Pablo Zabaleta, Cannavaro, Jaap Stam, and Roberto Carlos. A French midfield of Zinedine Zidane, Patrick Vieira and N'Golo Kante, and a front three, which let's be honest, I think they're priceless.
Real deal, yeah.
Iron Robin, R9 Ronaldo, and Thierry Henry.
Perfect.
I think we've done pretty well, apart from the goalkeeper. I agree.
No.
If there's any honourable mentions, now's your time. I'll be honest, looking through my list, I pretty much said everyone I want to say. So unless anyone's got any, even if they didn't have a chance, but just a great bold player, now's the time to speak your truth.
My stipulation one was a man that bicked his head for his entire career. Should have probably made it for that. Was Scott Brown, who had a great head of hair before, then shaved it for 10 years, and then now grows it out and has a perfect head of hair. So fair play to him for just wanting to look hard for a career.
Fair play.
If you said Scott Brown, I probably wouldn't have made a stipulation because that was part of it. Was a player that has had no hair for most of his
committed to it, yeah. And he is. No one has committed to it more than he has. So fair play to him.
So that's an absolutely perfect from first 11. Apart from the fact that Konchesky didn't get in, I just am fuming about that. Lee Carsley as well.
Rubbish.
The boldest of them all was John Joe Shelby. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even have eyebrows. So
I don't think that's his fault, mate. I think something happened to him.
Okay, yes. Apologies.
Sorry, John Joe.
Technical difficulties.
Sorry, John Joe. You're a great footballer and a great guy.
Charlie, obviously we made this team of boldies. Have we got another one for next week potentially, or are we waiting for next week?
Well, I'll tell you what, boys. We haven't said this, but I've got an idea for next week. But I think one thing we haven't done, quick thinking, is who's the manager of this bold team?
Guardiola.
Yeah.
Bald. I've called him a bald fraud for about 8 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he is probably the best manager.
Ten Hag has got a weird head.
He has a massively bold face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't.
Oh, God. It's like, what is that like picking between them two? I don't even care. You decide amongst yourself. I hate both of them. I'm not bothered.
Yeah, I think Guardiola's the better. He's the more proven manager anyway, but other bold managers.
No, wait, who is more bold? Ten Hag.
Ten Hag is more bold, but if we're talking who's. Do you know what I mean? To win us something with this team, I don't think you need a manager really.
Yeah, true.
And they would have that referee. What's he called?
Oh yeah, Jean Kalina. Yeah.
I've read more Dermot Gallagher as the
Howard Webb.
Yeah, both equally fucking scary.
I don't know about Dermot.
This team. Well, Daniel Levy is the.
Tell you what, they give him a game. It's like Harry's hero.
To be honest, yeah, you got the worst chairman in the world there. You got the worst referee. I can't stand Howard. I couldn't stand Howard Webb. But yeah, I think so. For next week, I've got a couple of ideas. I don't think I'm going to reveal them just yet because
he hasn't got any.
He's fumbling.
I'm fumbling a little bit. No, I've got two ideas, but I don't know which is better. I don't know which is better. I may have got an idea that I'll talk to you guys about off air, but I do think it will. We'll have to discuss whether it's PG or PG rated enough.
Oh, Jesus, that's never good.
Cool, that's absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much for that, Charlie. We're looking forward to what happens next week as well. Cal, obviously, we sort of sunk back into this sort of format where we're like, we're relaxed now. This is Charlie's bit, but it's actually ours as well. So we need to get back into the same format as before. Thank you very much, Charlie, for doing this. We appreciate it every time. If you haven't already to subscribe to the Talk Nonsense podcast, which is now rebranded, just go and subscribe. I don't know how else to say, really. Go and follow us on Twitter. We're the most active on there as well. Me and Cal decide when we can be asked to tweet on there. That's what we're going to tweet. We're always trying to bait people because we can say that now. By the way, Charlie, we can say stuff now like Antonio Conte. Are you allowed to say that?
I'm still not saying it. I've got egg PTSD.
Egg TSD. ETSD.
Egg
traumatic. Post-traumatic. PTED.
Yeah, he's just having an existential crisis. I thought that was crap. We'll end the podcast, right? Go subscribe. We're done.
All right.